Welcome to the Jon Krull Show. I am your host, Jason Zaleski, and we are joined now by Stevens Point Panthers basketball coach, Jon Krull. Coach, congratulations on your success so far this year. We are at the halfway pole, 12 wins, no losses. Pretty good, right? Maybe you had some expectations coming in, but you can't do better than 12-0. But are the expectations meeting your reality so far here in this season?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are. I mean, when you're able to, you know, come out of the first 12 games with no losses, it's an exciting start. There's some parts of our team and our game that we need to work on and get better as we get the second half of this season, and then make sure we're playing our best basketball when it comes to February, March. And I think we're on pace right now, coming in this year with some newer guys, guys that maybe have been part of the program, some guys that have not been part of the program. It was, an unknown, I guess, going into the beginning of the season of how that rhythm or mesh would, how fast that would happen. And so far it's been ahead of schedule, which I like to see. And hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Yeah, ahead of schedule. I think that might be the sentiment across the area too, and of course for your fans and families, happy for ahead of schedule and enjoying the ride along with you and your boys. You and I talked before the season began, and you were on your way to your first road game or your first game, whatever it was, and it was against a Fox Valley team. And you might remember this. I'd said, "Hey, coach, what do we?" And I was talking about teams here in Central Wisconsin, but talking to you, what do we have to do to turn the corner against those teams? Because it's been rough. I hate to bring up maybe some bad memories, but there's some good news here in my question. But look, 2019 regional semifinal loss to Appleton East, 2021 regional semifinal loss to Hortonville, 2022 regional semifinal loss to Appleton North, and last year regional semifinal loss to Neenah. Yet along the way here this year, you've beat Appleton West, you've beat Kimberly, and you've beat Neenah. Have the SPASH Panthers kind of turn the corner on what looks like a higher level of basketball maybe being played in other parts of the state?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, we've built this program on being able to beat a lot of great teams, and that's an outstanding conference over there that's had our conference's number for a while here. Not just ours, but a lot of the teams in the Wisconsin Valley. And I wouldn't say we had to change a lot. We definitely had to tweak some stuff. And I think it started in our youth program. That's going to be our funnel coming into our high school program. And we just had to make sure that we were getting, our youth program challenged and taught the right way. So when we hit high school, we're already, on the ground running. And, I think the process takes a little bit of time, and we're a few years into this thing, and hopefully we've turned the corner on this, and we can continue to build and continue to compete with those type of teams.
Also along the way, you had a nice home win before the Christmas break against Eau Claire Memorial. In our seed math, again, we use a mathematical ranking that emulates the WIA's playoff seed process. Eau Claire Memorial comes in as number 6. You're number 3 if the playoffs were to start today, which is a crazy thing to say because they don't. But if they did, you'd be the obvious number 1 seed mathematically, or just by the eye test in your section. So you've those games I talked about, those are all teams in your section. Obviously, you're 12-0, so you're whatever and 0 against everybody in your section, but against those Fox Valley teams too. And along the way here through these 12 games, you've got, by my count, 4 seniors. They've played. And they've had impacts in one way or the other. But for the seniors, it's important, maybe for you to them, maybe they don't realize it, but it's important this senior year to give your best, because this is it. No matter what happens at the end, this is it. How do you grade the way that your 4 seniors have performed so far this season?
Yeah, they've been really good for us, and 2 of them, I guess you could put 3 of them in there that weren't part of the program last year. So it's been a change and a learning curve, I think, for some. Nick Fox sat out a year as a junior. And then Carter Combs came, with his family moving and his dad getting a job at UWSP coaching staff, and then Amon Konopaki coming back to the program after not coming out as a junior. And then Noah Marshke's been around the program, so he's been a great leader, and I think really led that group early this year to kind of show them what expectations we're looking for and what we've been building on. And each one has had an impact in a lot of games, but in different ways. And those four have really picked up their roles this year, I think, and has tried to max their role on this team.
Coach, you've got a big week next week, or coming up this week. We'll talk about that next as the Jon Krull Show continues right after this.
An SCS apartment or home is where you want to live, work, and play all throughout central Wisconsin. Look to SC Swiderski to make you feel right at home. The Stevens Point Brewery is a proud sponsor of local high school athletics. Experience the many refreshing flavors of Point Gourmet sodas. Handcrafted in small batches, each flavor is perfected for your enjoyment. From tasty black cherry cream to the world-famous Point Root beer, every bottle is in the house. Point Heating and Cooling in Stevens Point and Plover, with more than 100 years of making your home and business comfortable. Call Point Heating and Cooling or visit pointheating.com. Turn your house into a home and shop Home Furniture. Home Furniture on Post Road in Plover. When it comes to customized apparel or your local sports team apparel, turn to Maida in Stevens Point. From corporate outings to outfitting your club or sports team, Maida has all you could need.
As our Jon Krull Show continues, Coach, a big week this week on the basketball floor. On Tuesday, to this point, we talked about some of those non-conference games, but perhaps to this point, game number 13, the biggest one yet. You've got Marshfield coming to town. Both of you undefeated in conference. Coach Chris Fisher's Tigers 11-1. Also have an impressive record. They just made a team record on Saturday, 23s. So let's start with that. When you hear of a shooting performance like that, and then that team's coming to town a couple days later, how much concern does that bring you on Tuesday night?
Well, just them coming to town is a huge concern, and then you see that a few days before, and it keeps you up at night for sure. They're well coached. They're a great team. They've had a great program here for a long time. Very similar to what we do. So these games have always been battles for a lot of years, just because both teams are so similar. It's like you're playing yourself at times, and they're going to come in. They're going to be ready. We got to get ourselves ready, and we need to understand that it's going to be a 36, maybe more minute game. And it's a great opportunity for us on game 13, a conference game at home. In this conference, you definitely have to protect, your home court. And, the winner's going to put themselves in a really nice spot on top of the conference standings early still in the conference, but putting themselves in a really nice spot.
Yeah, you're right. It's game 4 of the conference. A lot of games to be played after that. So in a way, it's one game, but it is one that looks like it'll go towards a conference championship later in the season. What does practice look like? You said, two similar teams. You've got a practice yet tonight, but what does practice look like on Marshfield week?
Yeah, there's definitely, all games are important, like you said, but, some have a little bit more extra juice, I guess, in them. And there's an intensity, there's definitely a locked in focus that we need to have. And when you have so many games in a season, you don't have a lot of time to prep in between them. So, we got 2 days to be able to prep for an outstanding team coming in. And so we need to be, on our toes and ready to go each day and making sure that we're preparing the right way.
The game happens to be at home. Of course, you'll travel to Marshfield later in the season, but what's something different, or what's your edge coaching these guys and getting them prepared for a home game?
Yeah, it's I think the confidence of playing in our gym, and with our fans, and Marshfield's going to bring a lot of fans. They travel well. It's going to be an outstanding environment, and just to for them to enjoy these moments when playing at home. And we talk about it, especially like you said, that senior class, you're running out of home games here in your senior year. And we say it's only halfway through the season, but we're half done in the regular season. And so to really enjoy these moments and get excited and let your preparation on game night go up there and put it when we're on the floor.
Coach, your players are smart. They know it's a big game. You and the coaches might try to level them off with some other techniques and some other messages today and tomorrow, but they know it's a big game, and they know, we're probably looking at, one of you as a conference champion at the end of the year, which I'm sure for the seniors, the rest of the team is a team goal. But win or lose, you will need to move on, and you'll travel to Wisconsin Rapids on Friday. In your experience, how do you come off of that? Kind of the bigness of that game, and then get ready for, a team that's obviously struggled. They're on the other end of it this year.
Yeah, it's not easy, I would say. It's something that you definitely have to talk about, and you can't have that roller coaster ride. You can't be really, really high and really, really low. You got to try to prepare, no matter the opponent, the same way, each week. And you got, most here on out, you're pretty much 2 games in, or two practices prep for each game. So you got to prepare the same way, and you got to find that energy that you did on Tuesday, and you got to bring it back on Friday, win or lose. If we come out on top on Tuesday, you can't get too high, and all of a sudden, you have a low on Friday, because in this league, especially playing on the road, you can get bumped off. And so it's something we have to talk about quite a bit, and not that it's a bad thing. We talk about it, so we're aware of it, and we understand what what the process of what we need to do to go through. Not every game's the same. It is what it is, and we just have to make sure that we're ready for 36 minutes each night.
SPASH Panthers boys basketball home on Tuesday, on the road on Friday. Both games live right here on Zaleski Sports. Coming up next, we'll talk to Coach about team bonding with his Panthers team.
Ag Country Farm Credit Services is a farmer-owned co-op offering a wide array of custom financing and financial services. Contact Ag Country in Stevens Point, 715-344-1000. Andy Hoff and Cindy LaChapelle of Hoff Favor Real Estate Group are your local Stevens Point realtors. That's Andy Hoff and Cindy LaChapelle of Hoff Favor Real Estate. Nickel Lay Bank offers personal banking at its best. Nickel Lay Bank of Stevens Point, 715-254-3400 and nickellaybank.com. For your next catering, birthday party, family night out, or just lunch on the move, make it a delicious, cheesy, Chicago-style deep dish slice from the one and the only Rocky Rococo's in Stevens Point.
Back here on our Jon Krull Show, Coach, lastly, let's just wrap up today, talk about team bonding. A lot of teams, I'm talking about basketball teams halfway through the point, have had a really long bus ride or a hotel stay somewhere. That hasn't happened for your guys. What are some other techniques, some other ideas that you have to help these guys get to know each other and have a little more fun besides basketball?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely got to be some stuff outside of basketball. It can't be you can't be locked in 24/7 all the time. You got to be able to re-energize the mind and stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff that we do team bonding wise, it just kind of has happened in our program. As some of the upperclassmen or captains of the team, they kind of take control of that, and we've had a lot of weekend games on stuff and for Saturdays, and so we're not in school. We really teach routine, right? Don't be sleeping until 10, 11 on weekends, and keep the routine. So they'll do like a team breakfast and stuff like that. All of them will get together, and we do some team meals, nights before games throughout the season. And a lot of them do hang out in groups, quite a bit. But then it's also good to have separate time on you're every single day you're going after each other in practice, and it can get intense and very competitive. So sometimes that little break as well happens, but our guys do a good job of going to other sporting events together and stuff like that, you know, supporting their other classmates in their sports and stuff. And we have a lot of guys that play multiple sports. So, you know, they're in a lot of different sports in the off season, and they kind of have some more groups of friends and then or teammates and also some basketball guys on it. So they kind of do a really good job at you know, keeping that communication and that team bonding stuff.
Coach, you mentioned other sports. You might have seen the star on my shirt here today. Myself and Coach Anderson, big Cowboys fans. Of course, we got Packers-Cowboys playoffs coming up on Sunday. To me, 35-10 sounds real good. You want to weigh in on the game on Sunday?
Ooh, 35-10. I don't know. Packers offense is getting hot at the right time. So a little bit closer. I'm going to go 24-21 Packers.
Oh, okay. There we go. Prediction there, and maybe a good team bonding deal there. Guys get together and watch some playoff football over the course of the weekend. Coach, best of luck this week, and we look forward to seeing you on the basketball floor.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That'll do it for today's Jon Krull Show. Have a good day, everybody.
It's simple, but true. Time is money. At Sherrill Tire and Service, we have over 20 mobile service trucks to get you rolling and growing again. Sherrill Tire and Service Centers, your locally owned farm tire dealer.